Henry is 18 years old and lives with his mum, dad and sister. He loves walking and being outdoors, swords, castles and pylons. He also has a sweet tooth and particularly enjoys chocolate cake and hot chocolate with cream. You'll usually find him wearing his Australian bushman's hat, but without the corks, as well as a big smile. Henry has a real gift for bringing out the good side in people. As Henry approached his 18th birthday, his family was struggling to navigate their way through the complex maze of services available to them. The transition from child services to adult life was confusing, and Henry was only offered a very limited number of options to follow from his full-time education. In fact, he was only given one option: 3 days a week at the local college on a learning disability course. The course content wasn't based on Henry's aspirations or interests, and his family knew this, but didn't know where to turn to for support. Henry had a person-centred review at school to help him plan his transition to adult life, and this is where his circle started. The purpose of the circle was to put into action the things that were discussed at the review and support Henry and his family to start building a map for Henry. This would then help them to find a way through the maze by focusing on his aspirations and interests. At the heart of the review was an exploration of what Henry wanted, rather than a simple review of what services were available. The circle was careful not to be limited by what other people with learning disabilities do, and instead were thinking about Henry and what Henry wanted to do to have a good life. Together, the circle looked at Henry's perfect week. This then became a starting point to plan for what he wanted. There were some things on his perfect week that he was already doing that he wanted to continue, and the circle also helped Henry to think of new things that he wanted to do as well. Everyone shared their view, including Henry, and working together in this way, Henry had a louder voice. The circle planned how Henry's budget could work to support his perfect week, and then the group wrote a job description for support workers, as well as a one-page profile for Henry that could be used in recruitment. The circle did a lot of work in a very short space of time and felt optimistic that things were going in the right direction. One of the circle members, Adam, had known Henry for a long time. He suggested that his friend Sarah might be a good support worker for Henry, as she loved the outdoors as well, and he thought that their personality would be a good match. Henry and Sarah met each other and got on really well. Now they go to the garden centre together twice a week, planting, sweeping, moving logs and getting rid of molehills, which is their favourite part. Henry already had good links with a local outdoor pursuit centre from his time at school. And when the circle was working with Henry to plan his week, the centre suggested that Henry might like to come to them 1 day a week. Henry now does a range of jobs there, from using the ironing machine and sweeping up to delivering water to people on trips and making lunches. Henry says, "The thing about the centre is they love me there, and he loves them too." From his time at the garden centre and the outdoor pursuits centre, Henry's gained new skills and experience, and as a result, he's now been offered a role volunteering at a well-known National Trust property. He will be learning from the head gardener with over 20 years' experience. When the circle started, Henry's mum was feeling burnt out from advocating for Henry in education over the last 12 years. She was increasingly frustrated by the lack of support for her and for Henry in transition. Now the circle supports Henry, and this also supports his mum. When there have been hiccups along the way, Henry's mum has been able to contact the circle members and ask for support, help or advice. She knows that if something happens, she isn't going to have to solve the problem on her own. The value of local knowledge of the circle members has really helped. Henry's mum is so confident in the circle members' knowledge and their commitment to Henry that there have even been meetings that she's not attended but has fed into the agenda and read the notes after the meeting. The members of the circle have built relationships with one another and now feel very relaxed in one another's company. They've shared experiences and created a safe space for conversations, and they haven't been afraid to challenge each other Rather, they've built on one another's ideas. This makes the circle feel a safe and secure place for Henry, and it provides stability and support for Henry to continue to achieve his aspirations.